The pain of regret is greater than the pain of discipline. If you are an athlete and you are struggling to find your purpose beyond your sport, or if you want to integrate God into your life and discover purpose, if you're lost and need encouragement, then this podcast is for you.
I've been chosen. Watch me put it in motion. Got strong emotions. Manifest what I've spoken.
I'm your host, Datu, and welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Painted Lines. This is officially episode number 10. And today I'll be talking about what being a pro means to me. This was a requested topic from a few different people, actually, so I'm excited to talk a little bit about this. But I don't only want to share the challenges and the hard work it takes to become a pro. I also want to share the rewards and how fun it is and the lifestyle that I'm so blessed to have. So let's dive right into it. All right. So what does being a pro athlete mean? Let's start there, right? Someone who gets paid to play their sport. I mean, that's like the dream, right? Getting paid to play the game that you enjoy. I hope you enjoy doing. But outside of that literal definition, what does being a pro athlete mean to me? And I actually, before I wanted to answer this for the podcast, I actually asked a couple of my friends, Brandon Bates, Jordan Bartlett, a couple people back home, what it meant to them. And so I'm going to kind of share a little bit what they told me as well. But so the big three things in my life that will always be in my life, right? Obviously, the first one is God. And the next two is my health and my loved ones, which is family and super close friends of mine, right? So those are the big three in my life. But the main focus right now in my life has to be my career, because everything in a sense, except for God, right, is temporary. But I feel like I need to go hard at whatever I'm doing in the moment. And right now, that's my job. That's my career. That's leading me to places to serve God, to meet people, to develop relationships. Honestly, I think this is the most amazing platform to glorify God, right? But to be a pro athlete, you definitely need to have a chip on your shoulder. You need to have some pride in your game, your work ethic, who you are as a person, what you do on and off the court or the field, whatever sport you play. How did I get here, right? And I kind of shared a little bit of that story in another episode, but I think I'll dive in again just briefly here and share the story how I got here to the Philippines to be a pro basketball player. So one of my closest friends at Lizzie the Gifted, right? Every time we chat on the phone, we talked on the phone just yesterday, just randomly he called me and he was like, you know what? I'm just so inspired by you. And I'm just like, bro, what are you talking about? And he's just like, you have one of the greatest comeback stories of all time. Obviously that makes me feel good, right? And I'm just so thankful to feel appreciated and that I could inspire someone else. But what he meant by that was kind of deep, actually. And he knows all the struggles that I've gone through throughout my life, throughout my basketball journey. I won't go too far back, but from college, right? I took 2 redshirt years. I ended up staying at Chico State for a total of 7 years. Part of it was COVID. Part of it was a medical redshirt. But long story short, I sat the bench at a Division II in California. And I know for a fact, like my skill set, like I know like I could have played even at D1, like for sure, no doubt in my mind. But I didn't have the drive. I didn't develop into the player that I am today. In hindsight, I wish I could have done it over, but things happen for a reason. I think that's why I'm here now. I kind of feel like God gave me a second chance as well. But blowing out my knee, my senior year, my legitimate senior year, I thought I was done playing basketball for good. I completely ruptured my left patellar tendon, and it took over 12 months to recover. I wasn't fully ready to go for like 18 months. And even those 18 months after being fully physically ready, like mentally, I was still like kind of shaky. But I would say, after that second year, like fully mentally ready to go again. It's not that I didn't take hoop serious, but my heart wasn't into it until I realized what I lost. And I was really disappointed that I felt like I wasted an opportunity. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't just okay with sitting on the bench. There was moments where I was just like, all right, forget about it. Like I'm not playing. I'm going to focus on something else. I'm going to focus on being a student, whatever. But even the times that like, you know what, forget that. I'm working harder, too little, too late. By the time it was like, I was about to peak and show all my efforts, my knee gives out. I didn't play ball. I worked out, but there was no hoop. Got my master's at Chico State, went into the workforce. I worked a 9 to 5, but more like a 5 to 9 job for like 2-3 years, and within that 4-year span, after my knee surgery, I remember I couldn't work out. I couldn't even walk, couldn't even shower on my own. Or after that, working 3 jobs, literally hustling, doing literally everything, even DoorDash. I did DoorDash too. I was trying to figure life out because I knew I wasn't going to play ball. I was just trying to figure out what was next for me. Basketball wasn't even a thought for me, right? I'm in the working force, right? I'm getting up at 4:30, 5 a.m., working at a gym, and wake up 5:30, get to the gym by 6, and I'm at it again. And I did that for like 9 months straight. And when I say get to the gym, I'm coaching other people. I'm not working on myself. This is strength and conditioning. I'm not even touching the basketball court. And so basketball wasn't even a thought in my mind, right? And from that point on, I figured out how to get ahead at work and apply to other jobs, other opportunities, entrepreneurship, and I was doing it. And I actually had jobs lined up for me, and I had opportunities lined up for me. And my agent calls, and he's like, hey, how's your health? I'm like, I'm actually really good because I'm working as a personal trainer. I'm like, I was in the best shape of my life. And he calls me, he's like, okay, great. Do you want to play ball again? I'm just like, no thought about it. I'm like, I hung it up. That's not it. And all right, this is like February 2022. All right, he calls me again in like March. He's like, hey, like, you want to hoop? What's up? And I'm like, I actually thought about it, and then I said no again. Calls me a third time. This is my agent, Paul Howard, in Santa Maria. And he goes, you want to play? And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it, right? I really thought I was done playing ball forever, for good. I mean, right now, I can't even imagine the day I have to really hang it up for real. But what this really taught me is that I took hoop for granted. Now I realize I need to value every small moment. Every small aspect of my life counts and matters because it could be gone in an instant. I only had one leg for like 3 months. I took having a leg for granted. After that, right, I'm playing 3x3 in the PBA. Played on J&T Express for 3 conferences, which was 1 full season. And then another conference with Wilcon Depot. Played international in between that. Not for Gilas, but just international tournaments. He was sanctioned. And I think I was up to like 9 or 10. I was ranked like 9th or 10th, I think, in the Philippines as a 3x3 player, which to me was an accomplishment for sure. But long story short, all led up to me trying to get to the draft, the PBA draft. First time I applied, it didn't go through. I didn't have my passport. But luckily, after I played 3x3 for a year, I was ready to go. So now we're here. Now I was drafted season 48, right, 2023. And we just finished that season. We just drafted season 49. So I'm officially a sophomore now. I'm not a rookie anymore. But I'm literally here living my dream as a kid. Of course, it was the NBA, but I'm a pro athlete. I'm in the PBA. I'm a commodity in the athletic realm. And it feels good. I signed a 3-year contract with Rain or Shine. I signed a 3-year endorsement deal with Anta, sneakers and gear, and on top of compensation for my hard work as an athlete is literally the dream. What does being a pro athlete mean to me, right? I think the biggest word that I can describe how I feel is sacrifices. The sacrifices that I've made to be here, right? And so we can point out the big ones. Leaving my family on another continent and my friends, and, you know, selling the car that I had, and I still have those relationships, but like I'm not there. It's not an easy flight to just see my people that I love and that love me. The potential career and entrepreneur path that I originally saw myself taking, that I was really excited to do, the opportunities were there, and I decided to put that on pause because this was more important to me right now. Overall, we have the big type of sacrifices, right? Literally moving across the world, not knowing anybody, living alone. Is definitely developing me into this character I didn't know that I needed to turn into, and learning so many new things along the way. But so grateful for this opportunity that I get to do this, right? How many people get to say they are a pro athlete? It's the hours you put outside of that as well, right? Obviously the commuting, but you can argue that for everybody. It's the weight room, the extra court skill work, the eating, you know, being conscious of what you eat, the active recovery, making sure you sleep, taking care of your body, the things that you consume. That's media, alcohol, whatever. So yeah, the hours you're at the gym for your team practice, but also you taking care of yourself, like on a micro level, right? Now I'm super conscious of every little thing that I do. And not that I was careless before, but me wanting to succeed, wanting to be better. I want to stay on the uptrend because at the end of the day, like, this is my career. This is my life right now, right? Of course, I got God, family, my health, but my health is also my life, my livelihood, my career. My knees are literally my moneymaker right now. I want to develop the discipline needed to eat right, sleep right, wake up early, go to bed early, have 2-a-days. Like, I want this. I want to have those days where I hire a trainer or just my head coach just yelling at me, yelling in my ear to do better, be smarter, work harder, right? And I think that's also what separates the people who just like their sport versus the people who are real pro athletes, right? They want it. They want the struggle. They want the discipline because they know that's what makes them better. They know that's what got them here. They know that's why we get paid to do what we do, right? And just from observation, just throughout my time here and even other places, other countries, right? What I've noticed is that the difference between people who last longer are the people who take care of themselves and nonstop devote themselves. And that's with everything. And also, you know, I want to add finding the right partner who supports you to do those things, right? So if you're single, you only got you. But if you have a family, right, that's your kids, or you're taking care, or if you're taking care of your parents, or you have a spouse or girlfriend or whatever, right? Finding that right partner to also be by your side and fully support you along this journey is also crucial, because no one understands better than you or other athletes what you have to go through to get to where you need to be and maintain that and have longevity doing so. You know, and for the longest time, I've been constantly struggling, trying to remember and focus on what is important to me as a whole and at this point in my life. And more than ever right now, like, I don't want to just say the word basketball because it's not just a game. It's not just a sport. It's like basketball is like the reason I have certain people in my life, the reason I have certain opportunities, The reason I'm just so focused on this lifestyle right now. And another thing that's important to me while being a pro is giving back to the people who've invested into me, right? And so, like, quick example, I mean, my mom has done the world for me. A lot of people in my family have literally gone to the moon and back for me. The people who've invested into me, like, I don't want to let them down. And maybe you shouldn't feel that way. Maybe you shouldn't. But I'm being vulnerable and I'm telling you how I feel, and I don't want to let them down. My high school basketball coach, Tom Mott, he's taken me around the world to play ball. China. He would pick me up from my house, take me to school early, get some extra shots in. He would stay late in the gym for me, give me rides home, not just to help me out in my career, but to help my mom take care of me as well, and the people who love me. And Tom Mott is one of the only people who's visited me here in the Philippines from the States, actually. And he's came and watched me play in 3x3 when I was there. And, I was just so down bad in certain moments of my life. Now I'm a crucial part of a pro basketball team. So let me get back to, I started with saying like the big sacrifices I made, right? But there's also little sacrifices you make every single day, right? Every single choice that you do is what makes you a pro. And this might sound crazy to some people, but this is my story. This is me. What does being a pro mean to me? And that means it honestly starts the night before, right? And to be transparent, I have been doing an absolutely terrible job of this, but going to bed on time, going to bed early so that I have the energy, the gusto to wake up in the morning. And on top of that, I got to eat good. I got to feed my body deserving of after a hard workout, right? So much goes into it. There's time management. I got to be here at this time. I got to work out from this time to this time. I got to squeeze in a meal here and there. I should bring some snacks because after this, I got to go here, or I have a shoot here, or I have a workout here. So this time management, and don't even get me started on the traffic here, but you just got to make it happen. But for me personally, I don't think everybody has this problem, but for me, it was hard to learn to say no to things so that I can make sure that I eat better or get to bed on time or something along those lines, right? And that works vice versa too, right? Sometimes like I need to say yes to something. I have to move things around, or maybe I don't move things around. Maybe I just prioritize what I say yes to. Every little thing matters. Every time we snooze, or in a positive way, every time we squeeze in like some rest, active recovery, or even a nap. It's a race to get ahead and grow, but it's hard work just to like maintain sometimes as well. To some of you, that might sound like really daunting. Like, dude, like you gotta eat right all the time. You gotta manage your sleep so that you can perform. You gotta have a balance of like work and life and relationships and family and church and God and back on the court and like time management, and like, it might sound hectic to some people, but to other people, it might sound like that's amazing. That's what I want to do in my life. And I will say that there are ups and downs, and there are like good, there's good stretches of time where like this is the good life, like wow. And there's other times where it's like this is a struggle. Why am I doing this? I will say that it's fun. It's fulfilling to me. It's rewarding, and most importantly, it feels like I'm right where God wants me to be right now, right? All glory to God for all the blessings that he has given me or potentially have earned. I only thank God and that I've been able to take advantage of these opportunities that he's placed before me. What does it feel like to be rewarded for your hard work, right? And I'm not a PBA champ yet, but making it to the semifinals for the first time in 15 conferences with Rain or Shine already felt like an accomplishment. And seeing fans support you, getting recognition, at the stadium or interviews or whatever, but it's honestly a really cool feeling just going to the mall, going out to dinner or just whatever, just running into other players even, but also fans or people who follow you, and I've never been one to like really just like, oh my gosh, famous people. But in a sense, I really do enjoy, being there for fans who do watch the games or who care enough about basketball and know who we are. It's really a rewarding feeling to have recognition and to have people that you don't know who actually care about you and care about what you're up to and what you do with your life. And like they see you on TV or they go to a game and see you on the court. I think that's also another way that I feel like we can give back, right? And for example, my buddy Jordan Bartlett, he runs the Puso Foundation, right? And there's other players who've also been involved with that. I think Gabe Norwood as well. But, being in a position where you're an athlete, it's an awesome position to give back. And there's other organizations and nonprofits out there, but just using an example, like the Puso Foundation that I'm also becoming a part of as well now is just another way to serve the community and give back. And it's really an amazing feeling. And I develop relationships I otherwise wouldn't have, meet people I would have never met if I wasn't a pro. I just have such a great appreciation for other athletes too, and not just my sport, but any sport, because I know what it takes to get in this position and stay in this position and continue to be better after you make it into whatever sport you're playing. And I think another big one for me is setting an example, right? And even when I feel like no one's watching, someone is always looking at me, or at least that's what it feels like. And it's hard to hide, especially being 6'7" with the unique hairstyle, at least here for the Philippines. I need to set a good example. And don't get me wrong, like we still go out, we still have our fun, we can still take pride in who we are, right? We can still go party and celebrate big wins, and we can share the love. But at this time in my life, like this is the perfect platform for me to give value to others, share my story, and demonstrate Christian values. And I hope to set examples in that way as well, outside of the stereotypical, let's go have fun as being a pro athlete, right? There's the hard work, there's the fun and leisure, and then there's like your purpose and your duties to fulfill to society as well. So, I mean, I enjoyed talking about being a pro, but I think this episode's definitely gonna have a part 2. So write in the comments or shoot me a DM who you'd like to have on this pod, and I'll get them on and we can chat it up again, round 2, with what it means to be a pro athlete. So what I want to leave you guys with today, what are the small things that you're doing in your life that contribute to making significant changes or strides in your career, relationships, finances, or even your hobbies and leisure time, right? And what are those things that are important to you? So I hope you can reflect upon those things and be a pro in your own line of work, whatever that you're doing. If you're doing nursing, be the best nurse out there, right? Have all the patients love you. Take care of everyone the best. Be a pro at being a nurse. If you're working in a cubicle, if you're a businessman, whatever you're doing, be a pro at whatever you're doing in your life, your career. Maybe the most important thing to you is your family or your relationship with God. Be a, I don't know if this is the right word to say, but like be a pro Christian, be the best you can be, as you should all the time, right? But maybe it's with family. Be the best father, be the best brother, sister, mother, son, like be the best that you can in your family and the people that need you. Be the best friend that you can be, right? You can be a pro, quote unquote, in any aspect of your life. Is the point that I'm trying to get across here. So, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Beyond the Painted Lines. I'm your host, Datu, and stay blessed.
Watch me put it in